The train reached its final stop near the river by dusk, a place too small to call a town, but too fortified to be chance. Rough-hewn warehouses stood in neat rows along the bank, lanterns swinging from posts like watchful eyes. Barges waded in the water, their decks ready to swallow the crates of rifles. We stayed low as men in false uniforms swarmed the station, shouting orders, their movements disciplined, sharp. This was no simple handoff. It was a campaign in motion. Evelyn's voice was a whisper near my ear.
They mean to move them by river. To where?
To where the smoke rises east, I muttered, recalling Robert's words. Likely to a hub beyond the Mississippi. From there, Ashcroft can spread his reach anywhere. Her jaw tightened, but she nodded. Her resolve burned as steadily as the lanterns. We slipped from the train once the guards turned their backs, keeping to the shadows until we reached the warehouses. One door stood ajar, its latch loose. I pressed my shoulder against it, easing it open just enough for us to pass inside. The air within smelled of oil, leather, and damp wood. Lanterns flickered on beams overhead, illuminating rows of crates stacked to the rafters, and on a desk at the far end, papers, ledgers, maps. Evelyn drew in a sharp breath.
Proof,
she whispered. We crossed the floor quickly, though every step echoed too loudly in my ears. My fingers shook as I opened the ledger. The columns revealed shipments in meticulous hand, dates, routes, quantities, all cloaked in codes but decipherable enough. Then I found the name, Ashcroft Dominion Company. It was not mere trade, it was empire. Maps scattered across the desk showed rail lines marked in red ink, river crossings circled, forts sketched along borders. It was the design of a new country, one not bound to Washington but to Ashcroft's command. Evelyn leaned close, her voice trembling with fury.
He means to carve a kingdom here, Thomas, with his own army.
I felt the weight of Robert's absence heavier than ever. He had died to uncover this, and now the same truth lay beneath our hands. I copied what I could into my notebook, hands moving quick, heart pounding. Evelyn folded one of the smaller maps, slipping it into her coat. Her eyes met mine.
This will bring him down.
A sound shattered the silence, the creak of the warehouse door slamming shut. Voices followed, boots. We froze. Lantern light flared as two guards entered, their rifles gleaming. One barked orders and the other began pacing down the rows of crates. Evelyn pressed against the desk, her hand on my arm. I held my breath, watching as the man's lantern beam swept closer, nearer, glinting off the steel bolts that bound the crates. When he turned the corner, our eyes met. His mouth opened in alarm. I moved first. My fist struck his jaw, sending him sprawling. His lantern shattered against the floor, sparks scattering. Evelyn gasped, but before the second man could raise his rifle, I drew my revolver and fired once. The shot echoed like thunder, wood splintering as the man staggered back, dropping his weapon. Shouts erupted outside. More boots pounded toward the warehouse. "Run!" I hissed. Evelyn didn't argue. We darted between the crates, the shadows alive with chaos. I grabbed her hand, guiding her toward a side door half hidden behind a stack of barrels. My shoulder slammed it open, spilling us into the cold night air. Bullets cracked against the wall as we fled. Evelyn's skirt caught on a splinter of wood. I yanked her free, my grip firm as we stumbled into the darkness. We ran until the shouts faded, until the night swallowed the station's glow behind us. At last, we collapsed among the scrub at the river's edge, gasping for breath. Evelyn clutched the folded map against her chest, her face pale but resolute.
We have it,
she whispered.
Proof of his dominion.
I studied her in the moonlight, her hair loose from its pins, her cheeks flushed with exertion. She had nearly been caught, nearly killed, yet her fire burned brighter than ever. You should not have come, I said hoarsely. This road is too dangerous. Her eyes met mine, fierce even in exhaustion.
And leave you to it alone? No, Thomas. Robert believed the truth must be seen. I will see it through.
I could not answer, for the words lodged in my throat. I had thought myself her protector, her shield. Yet time and again she had stood unflinching, her courage matching mine, perhaps surpassing it. I reached out, my hand brushing hers. She did not pull away. Then we see it through, I said softly. Together. For a moment, silence stretched between us, filled only by the rush of the river. Then she gave the faintest nod, her hand tightening around mine. We lay hidden by the riverbank until dawn, the sky paling to gray above the horizon. Smoke rose faintly from the warehouses behind us, a reminder of what we had left behind and what still awaited. Ashcroft's dominion was no longer rumor, it was fact, and the storm it promised would swallow the West if we did not stop it. Evelyn rested her head against my shoulder, exhaustion claiming her at last. I stayed awake, watching the river carry its endless current eastward. The rifles would follow soon, so would we, and I knew the path ahead would demand more than truth. It would demand sacrifice,